Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, Advice to Think Twice. My name is Monica and I'm here with a deck review. And today I will be reviewing the Connolly Tarot deck by Eileen Connolly and Peter Paul Connolly. Okay, so it's their deck together. And so I'm just going to show you what the cards look like when they come in the box, show you what else is in the box with the tarot cards, and then I'm going to show you the tarot cards one by one. I'm not going to hold them up for very long, but you can pause the video if you want to look at the cards more carefully in more detail. And then I'm just going to give you some of my impressions of what it's like working with this deck. Okay, so just to start off, this is one of my favorite decks actually. I've used this deck quite a lot in all sorts of readings and readings I posted, private readings. I used this deck quite a lot for private readings for a few months actually, because I really connect very well with it and it's easy to connect with it. The cards really speak to you, okay, and they're very talkative, if I can say that. So so this is the box that the cards come in, and it's just regular box. We have the Hierophant card on the back, and just information, the publisher, the authors, and all of that. With the cards and the leaflet, you also have I call them bookmarks because I use them as bookmarks usually, but it's just a couple more, they look like cards, but they just give you more information about the deck. Like for example, this is telling you about the authors and the publisher again, and this is just like a beautiful image to sum up what the deck represents, well, for me anyway. We also have this leaflet. It's a tiny, short description of the cards and some of the meanings of each card, upright and reversed. Okay, it's just black and white. You have a bit of a description of the major arcana cards first, and then it goes on to the minor arcana with all the suits. And so this is what it looks like. It takes you through, I'm just trying to, 6 of Swords, 5 of Swords, 7 of Swords. So it just lists all the cards in each of the suits and giving you some key meanings for each of the cards. And then you have an example of a Celtic cross spread at the back of the booklet. If you're just starting out, I don't think this is going to be sufficient for you to be able to truly grasp the meanings of each card. So I think this is good. Okay, it's good for additional information, but I think if you're just starting out with tarot, you do need a proper book on the meanings of the cards, if I can say that. You need a book and not a leaflet, let's put it that way. Okay, and then we have the cards, and these are just regular size tarot cards, and again, if you're just starting out, just to compare, we have a playing card and then the tarot card. So that's kind of the size that you're looking at. Okay, just to compare, it's just a little bit wider and a little bit taller, but they're not too big and they're not too wide. They're very easy to work with. They have a glossy, shiny back. This is the back of the card. It's really pretty. I've seen other issues of this deck. They have like a marble effect on the back of the cards, and I also like that one as well, but this is the one I got. And so I was saying they have a nice glossy surface to the card. They are bendy, but they don't bend too easily. They shuffle really well because of the glossy surface. Okay, they're very easy to maneuver, very easy to shuffle. You don't have cards flying about. You don't have, there's a nice flow to the deck. And I'm just gonna take you through each of the cards now and show you each of the cards, and then talk a little bit more about them when we're done seeing all the cards. So I'm just gonna start. We have the Nine of Wands. There's no writing on the minor arcana cards. It's just a number and wands or swords or cups. Or so this is the Nine of Wands, the Seven of Wands, the Strength card. You do have writing on the major arcana cards. The Ten of Pentacles, the Two of Swords, the Emperor, the Wheel of Fortune, the Ace of Swords, the Six of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles, the Ten of Cups, the Page of Swords. You do have writing on the court cards. The Fool, the Knight of Cups, Materialism, and this is the Devil card in this deck. The Ace of Cups, the Queen of Cups, the Knight of Wands, the King of Swords, Seven of Pentacles, Six of Swords, Five of Swords, the Empress card, Four of Cups, the High Priestess, the King of Pentacles, the Hierophant card, Two of Wands, Judgment, the Knight of Pentacles, the Three of Cups, Six of Cups, Eight of Wands, Ten of Swords, the Lovers, Knight of Swords, Three of Swords, the World, the Queen of Pentacles, the Seven of Swords, the Star, Three of Wands, Page of Pentacles, the Tower, the Ace of Wands, the Moon, okay, the Five of Wands, the Two of Cups, Six of Wands, 8 of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles, Temperance, King of Cups, 9 of Pentacles, 9 of Swords, King of Wands, Page of Wands, the Hangman, 3 of Pentacles, Transition, and this is the Death card, Page of Cups, 8 of Cups, Ace of Pentacles, 10 of Wands, 4 of Wands, Eight of Swords, Queen of Wands, the Chariot, the Magician, the Four of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups, Justice, Four of Swords, Nine of Cups, the Hermit, Queen of Swords, Five of Cups, and the Sun card. So the deck has very pleasant, warm colors. It is a vibrant tone to the colors, but they're not striking you. They're not in your face to the point where they're distracting you. The deck is very friendly, very welcoming. Obviously, you still have the symbols that you would find in the Rider-Waite, in the traditional Rider-Waite, for example, but you definitely see the author's spin on it. Like, for example, with the Five of Pentacles, where they're really trying to highlight the fact that it's all about perspective and the things that you don't see, by the fact that she's actually touching that gate made of pentacles. She's actually sitting on it, but she has a blindfold on, and so she doesn't know what she has in her hands, basically. And so with the Five of Pentacles, it is talking about shifting your focus because help is available to you. It's right behind you, but you don't see it because you're so focused on feeling completely left out in the cold. And so I really feel like this is an interesting way to portray that in a way that is quite different from the traditional Five of Pentacles. So there's that, and then with the Materialism card, obviously the author has decided to focus more on the materialistic side of the card, on being bound to richness, money, reputation, status, anything like that, anything to do with that, and less, for example, because in every devil card you see a devil figure, okay, whereas in this card you do see the chains, okay, but it's called materialism, and I think that is less intimidating. It looks less intimidating definitely than a traditional tarot card of the devil, and it's giving you different perspectives, different things to focus on, and I think it's invoking a lot less fear or panic, because some people panic when they see the devil card because it's not very pleasant looking. And so with this one, I think they made it less intimidating while at the same time preserving the traditional meanings of the cards, of being bound to things, to attitudes, to material things, for example, well, along with other things as well, obviously, but it's just the idea of being bound to something, being powerless. Okay, that is a traditional meaning of the Devil card. You have the Four of Pentacles, for example. You don't see the old man holding on to his coins anymore, being afraid to let them go. For me, this is really feeling like he's got pentacles in each hand. He's got pentacles on his feet. It feels more like security, more like stability. And it is a 4 card, so it does talk about stability and foundations. So the perspective is different. The perspective is you have enough money, and it's actually showing you that, whereas in the traditional 4 of Pentacles, you see that man and you read, his fear on his face of losing what he has and spending what he has. Okay, so this is focusing more on just showing you right off the bat that you have the resources you need, you have everything you need, literally in the palm of your hand. With the 7 of Cups, for example, you no longer have that figure just looking at the cups in the sky and being in the dark. They're portraying it as someone being at a crossroads and really considering their options and which way they want to go. Okay, but it doesn't really have that lost in daydreaming type feeling that a traditional 7 of Pentacles has, a 7 of Cups, sorry. It's just, being at a crossroads, you have multiple options. You're looking at the options you have, which way you want to go. Okay, so I think it brings the energy of the card a bit more down to earth. And it's basically telling you that you do have the options in front of you, as opposed to they may be just in your mind with the daydreaming attitude and energy of the traditional 7 of Cups, for example. And this, again, is just my interpretations and my experiences with using the cards. 6 of Pentacles, for example. You no longer have the man with the scales and the, handing money or someone receiving money. They focus on the sense of community that this card can talk about. This, the sense of people coming together, people working together. There is a balance, there is a giving and receiving. You have support around, you have support available to you. You're not alone. People are going to come to your aid whenever you need them to. And so that's what they chose to focus on with the 6 of Pentacles. And, I find that interesting. Another thing I find interesting is the 3 of Cups, for example. You no longer have the 3 women, the 3 maidens, just dancing and singing and celebrating, with cups in their hands. You have a woman and the male figure in the card, and you have the angel joining in as well. And so you do have 3 figures in the card, but they're not all women anymore. And so I really feel like this is expanding the meaning of the cards. Okay, it is talking about friendships and everything, but to me there's something romantic in this card as well. So yes, it could, draw your attention to some kind of love triangle, or it could simply be, if I just look at it now, for example, I could see these 2 people and I could see the angel representing a pregnancy, and so perhaps they're celebrating a pregnancy. It's just the way they portray the cards a little bit differently than the traditional version. It opens up a lot more possibilities for you to read them, a lot more options that you have available, especially if you're an intuitive reader like I am, where I do pay attention to the meaning of the cards, but I also pick up on things intuitively, and so that may shift the meaning of the card for me. So for example, I don't think, I haven't seen at least the meaning of the 3 of Cups in a lot of books or anything like that to be what I just said, but looking at the card, that is what I'm picking up on. So I think it gives you more freedom to read the cards if you're an intuitive reader, especially. Okay, it gives you different perspectives on the energy of that card, different perspectives on how to interpret those energies that are coming across. Okay, and for example, with the 3 of Swords, you don't have 3 swords piercing a heart. Okay, you have this cloud, for example, and that can mean anything. It can be being disillusioned, being disappointed, not seeing things clearly, miscommunication happening that is heartbreaking, that is disappointing. And then you do have the sword with the rose on it. And so to me, just now looking at it, it's saying this is gonna blow over, this is gonna be okay, it's just temporary, okay? And any kind of disconnect or any kind of separation is temporary. There is a place where this will become clear. There's a place for a new beginning in whatever you're dealing with, okay? So they're really, really beautiful cards. Like I say, the colors are very beautiful. They blend very well together. They feel very warm, okay? There's a very gentle energy that is coming off of these cards. And as I was saying, even the, you know, threatening cards, if you will, like the Ten of Swords, they look differently. They're not as intimidating. They don't make you feel as scared when you look at them, for example, because with the Ten of Swords in the traditional tarot, it's all black, and you have that figure lying there and swords in their back, and it's just the black in the card, I think, for me at least, that, you know, makes you go a little bit, oh my god, what's that? But in this deck, for example, we have the Ten of Swords that looks completely different. There are no swords in this person's back. And so you could interpret these, you know, the card in a bunch of different ways. It could be that, you know, this is, the swords represent your fears, or the swords represent the lessons that you've learned, and so now you're paying attention to the lessons that you've learned. But this person has kind of like a shield around them, and to me that is saying you're protected by your lessons. Now you can move forward with the knowledge that you have gained, okay? And you could interpret the Ten of Swords like that, because it is talking about hitting rock bottom and there's no way but up, okay, with the Ten of Swords. And so it does blend in, okay, the meanings of the traditional cards and the new perspectives that they give you. So like I say, they're very very beautiful cards. This is the back of the cards. Once again, they're very beautiful cards. They're not too thick, okay? They are bendy, but like I say, they don't just bend on their own to the point where you can't use them. I love the colors. I love the different interpretations, the different spins that the authors have put on various cards. Like I say, it feels very friendly, very welcoming. A beginner could work with these cards, definitely. But again, I feel like they would have to have better knowledge of the traditional meanings of the cards in order to pick up on the various aspects of the cards, especially if you want to read them just according to their meanings, just according to the traditional significations of the cards, because if not, it may be a bit difficult to pick up on what the cards are trying to tell you. So with just a little bit of extra knowledge from a tarot book, and then combined with the leaflet, and they do give you different interpretations as well in the leaflet. I'm just gonna see if I can find one. Because they do, you know, they portray the cards differently, but they do give you the meaning for it in the booklet. Okay, so for example, with the Nine of Swords that we have here, it's not the person sitting up at night in the bed with the swords on the wall. It is this person carrying those swords with them, being out in the cold on their own. And so for example, what the booklet says for the Nine of Swords, it says despair and anxiety cause misery and a sense of hopelessness, so being out on your own. And then it says release your old burdens and keep moving forward, don't look back. Okay, so this particular card and the meaning that they give you makes reference to the fact that it's time for you to release your burdens that may be causing you anxiety, and to keep moving forward, okay, not to look back to what it is that you are walking away from. So like I say, they just give you still see the traditional meanings, the traditional symbols in the cards, but at the same time you have new meanings, new interpretations, or new perspectives on the same card, and they do account for that in their booklet of you know, interpretations and significations or meanings. I don't know if that's a word. It is. The meanings for each card. So it's a really beautiful deck, very easy to work with, very communicative. You don't have to really, you know, rattle your brains to figure out what the cards may be trying to tell you. I feel like they're really speaking to you right away, and in a spread, I feel like they connect very well together. You could easily put together a story, okay, with any kind of spread. Not intimidating at all, very kind energy, very gentle, very warm tone to the colors. And I just, I think it's a beautiful deck to work with. I think, like I say, it does a very good job at giving you the messages that you need to hear. And you could read it from a traditional point of view, in the sense that you can read the cards based on the traditional meanings, and it gives you a lot more options if you are an intuitive reader. It gives you a lot more, you know, different points of views, different perspectives that you can pick up on. So I would definitely recommend this deck, okay? Once again, this is the Connolly Tarot deck. One of my personal favorites. I would definitely recommend this deck. It's not expensive. I don't remember the exact amount I paid for it, but it's not expensive, and it's very, very, you know, much worth whatever you pay for it. And so, you know, I hope, if you're interested in it, I hope this review is giving you more information or the answers that you were looking for. And if not, definitely look it up. It's a beautiful, beautiful deck, and I definitely recommend it for everyone out there who's interested in tarot. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this review. Let me know what you think. Let me know of your experience with this deck, perhaps. So I hope you find it useful, and you know, I hope you enjoy the cards as much as I do. Okay, so take care, and I'll talk to you next time.